In this video, I'm going to explain this nice open work stitch. It's great for scarf or for a summer top. And the good news is that you do not need a chart for this stitch. You just need a deep understanding of stitch anatomy, the stitch logic, and this is what we're going to talk about in this episode. An important reminder before I start, this channel is all about combination continental knitting style. This is what main stitches in this style look like. And also let's thank a new supporter to this channel, Meryl, a knitter who really enjoys knitting combination continental. Thank you, and let's continue. This project is knit in flat, so I have a knit row and the purl row. We're not talking about knitting in the round. Let's take a closer look at just one repeat, and it will make so much more sense. These are two knit stitches. Those are so obvious, and you can see them very clearly, that these two stitches are knit stitches on the knit side and purl stitches on the purl side. But then something different starts going on. I mean, these stitches are not that obvious. First of all, we see two holes. How these holes are created? The most obvious way is a yarn over. So basically, what do we see here? A yarn over here, a yarn over here. Now, let's say we started from 4 stitches. This element is from 4 stitches. When you make a yarn over, you basically create an extra stitch. So we see an extra stitch here and an extra stitch here. But we just want to stay within those 4 stitches count. What do? We work 2 stitches together in order to compensate that extra stitch created by a yarn over. So the logic of this chart is that if we create a yarn over, we need 2 stitches together after or before that yarn over. If we don't have 2 stitches together, we will have an extra stitch. But we don't want that. We want to stay in the same stitch count. As easy as that. So these ones are going on without any alterations, these two. And then a yarn over, 2 together. 2 together, yarn over. And then it just repeats. 2 knit stitches, yarn over, 2 together, yarn over. That's basically it. And let's do it on the needles. My row starts from a border stitch. It doesn't participate in the chart. And then 2 knit stitches. Let's do that. I will skip the border one and just knit and knit. And now we're getting closer to this open work element. Yarn over, 2 together, yarn over. So for this element, I would use 2 types of yarn over. First is this one, and then two together, and then another 2 stitches together and a yarn over. But if the previous one was this one, now I do this one. And now let me explain something else. 2 just regular knit stitches. And now let's go even deeper into this explanation. These 2 stitches, these 2 elements, these 2 cables, they look kind of cables, they lean differently. So let's do it again, and I will explain as I go. So I make one of these yarn overs, yarn over here, and if I knit 2 together this way, these guys lean to the left. Remember, we always read the chart from bottom to top and from left to right. So this stitch is obviously leaning that way, to the left. And now the other 2 guys, I want them to lean the opposite way. So I change the direction of the stitches and knit two together, and it's obvious that these guys lean the opposite way, that we have that nice symmetrical geometry. So these guys are leaning that way, that way, that way, and the other part of the open work element leans the other way, that way, that way, that way. And again, remember the previous yarn over was like this, and for the symmetry I will go like this. And now just 2 knit stitches. And let's do the open work element once again. So 2 knit stitches are done, and then yarn over, 2 together, leaning to the left, and then 2 together, leaning to the right, and the yarn over, and 2 obvious knit stitches. So 2 obvious knit stitches are done, yarn over, 2 together, leaning to the left, and then 2 together, leaning to the right, and the yarn over. And let's start again. Knit stitch, yarn over, 2 together, leaning to the left, 2 together, leaning to the right, and the yarn over. Knit stitch, knit stitch. Those knit stitches are like dividers to balance these open work elements out. Yarn over, 2 together, leaning to the left, and 2 together, leaning to the right, in the second way of yarn over, and then just 2 knit stitches and continue until the end of the row. And the next step is the purl row. Purl row is very simple. It's all purl stitches, but you need to remember that there are 2 types of purl stitches for this style, and these are the most obvious purl stitches for this combination continental grandma style, and I just go through the front leg. Those are easy because on the knit side those were knit stitches, and those are just regular purl stitches for this grandma style combination continental. What about the open work element, the open work repeat? I also purl through this front leg, through this leading leg, but what about the places where I had yarn overs? For example, this one, I will just purl through the front loop to make this hole. Okay, now a regular purl stitch, just a regular purl stitch, and another yarn. Now let's see what happens if I go through that front loop. Nothing good. The hole closes. I don't want that. So in this case, for this type of yarn over, on the purl side, I would go like this. Once again, normal purl, normal purl. This one is also normal purl. Make sure that when you purl, you create that hole. Now, normal, normal. Aha, if I purl through this leg, it will close my nice hole. I don't want that. So I will purl through that back leg using the stitch logic of this combination continental grandma style. And let me show you again. Normal purl, just a normal purl through that front loop. And yeah, this is an obvious one. This is an obvious one, and this one is not so obvious. So I purl like this to make sure that my hole remains. I hope that this explanation makes sense. And just continue till the end of the row.